3, 2. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Japan Suzuka for round number 3 of the ERL Formula 1 Championship, even though I shouldn't have said Formula 1 Championship, still. Anyway, for the ERL Championship, of course, and we are here at the Suzuka track. Obviously, was going to be joined by Iron Kid tonight in the comms box, but sadly he's not here. And my other co-commentator, Mafasa, also sadly is not here either. However, we do have a full grid, which is good. And why have we got no, like, what you call it? What's going on now? Session will start in 58 seconds. I don't know. It is beginning at some stage today, so don't worry about that. But nonetheless, in terms of championship order, Vigo currently sits top after 2 back-to-back wins. Obviously, he will be aiming to go for a 3rd consecutive straight victory tonight in ERL. However, we'll have a bit of competition, I reckon, for tonight's race. Limited Danny is currently 2nd, however, is a huge 31 points behind. Then we have Acosta and Mikey and Eamon in then 5th. So those are your top 5 in the drivers. In terms of the constructors, well, AlphaTauri sits top from Red Bull. Sorry, not Red Bull, Alfa Romeo, then McLaren, Haas, and then Ferrari in 5th at the moment. So those are your teams and driver standings, obviously. So there is no real risk, I don't think, of the Drivers' Championship changing lead tonight, because the maximum points, well, in theory, actually it could, however, would require a big swing of 32 points overall towards Limited Danny, with Vigo not scoring. So obviously currently Vigo has built himself a incredibly good championship lead overall in the championship standings, and we will now go on to the track, obviously, and I think first one out is actually Limited Danny then, or Danny, who obviously currently is one of the championship protagonists at the moment in the early stages of this season, and he's had a good start to the Tier 2 season overall on a Tuesday, and ultimately sits P2, so he will be looking to strengthen that P2 position tonight around Japan, around the Suzuka circuit, and one of my absolute favourite tracks on the game, and I think just in real life as well. I think this is one of the best tracks possibly there is, as now Danny heads down into Buzzing Corner for the first time, and then up the hill into the Schumacher S's, and goes left, then right, flicks the car back to the left again before going back to the right, and now heading up the hill on a left incline through Dunlop, and then up the hill out of Dunlop towards now Degner 1 into Degner 2, and then up the hill again for another incline, and gets the car nicely slowed down, touching the grass on the outside. I'll lose him a little bit of time into the hairpin, and up then over the crest, and then back down into almost like a valley, and then up towards then Spoon, through the first turn at Spoon, then down the hill, then here into again what is almost like a valley, I suppose you can say, and then up the hill towards 130R, then for the final, for this first lap, sorry, and then into the triangle corner, and then that is a lap of Suzuka then. And what will the time be to kick things off Tonight, it's a 1:29 flat, so not bad, I suppose. Going to go back to Owen, see if he's on a good lap so far. And I think then following him is either Piano Jam or Pinky, potentially. So here comes Owen across the line and is absolutely nowhere near what is required, really. And Piano Jam actually was one who was going to come across the line after. So Piano Jam is next, but already Pinky goes top, then immediately beaten by Girthquake. Then comes Litz, I presume, that how you pronounce that. Right, here's Storms, or Stooms, however you want to pronounce it, or Storm, on a lap in the Williams, and out of the final corner he comes. So far, looking good. Takes a short run to the line, trying to narrow that, path of rolling resistance, and goes P4 for now. So not bad from him. Now, I'm not sure if there's a few that obviously will be on a qualifying ban tonight due to the fact they could be, in a higher tier or in a lower tier, because tier 1 and tier 2, tier 1 I think is not the worst tier, it's one of the cleanest tiers, but in terms of pace, I think it's one of the slower tiers, and tier 2 I think is sort of like in the middle this season. Not entirely too sure about that, but pretty sure that's how it is. Certainly tier 2 usually is faster than tier 1, so obviously we do have quicker drivers in tier 2, what we tend to see. Anyway, Spray is on a lap, so he's certainly not on a qualifying ban himself. And the reason obviously do a qualifying ban, just to give obviously the drivers who are very, very quick, less of an opportunity to win, make their life a bit more difficult, I suppose, instead of, letting them, go out there and, basically demolish everyone. But I'm not entirely sure if anyone is on a qualifying ban due to that reason, or if they're not. Obviously, either way, Spray is about to complete his lap and almost out of fuel. So here comes Spray across the line now, and is going to go top of the standings, and yeah, that is almost a second clear of every single person here, unfortunately. What obviously can Vigo do? Our championship leader, and the answer is he's invalidated. Next up is Ralph Attari, still hasn't set it up himself, and actually, to be fair, whilst we're on board with Ralph Attari, that Ferrari livery is absolutely amazing. Really, really do love that Ferrari livery. Probably the best livery there's been for a Ferrari car in a very, very long time. I know they have a few special liveries these days, a lot of the teams in Formula 1, as he goes wide at Spoon. But yeah, that Ferrari livery, I really, really like the white and the red. Just brings back that the 1970s vibe, obviously, going on there. Only if it had a bit of, the Italian flag, that would be really, really 1970s vibe going on. Because pretty much 2017 Ferrari, that was the one, really looked like a 1970s throwback era. And goes P3, so he's certainly throwing Ferrari up to the top in terms of his pace. And what is his teammate doing? Arbegduri, who is on a lap, and Nix has now joined the session. So Arbegduri, I think he's actually on a second warm-up potentially here, because obviously he is weaving, so isn't really looking as if he's on a hot lap at all. How about Pinky, or Stinky Pinky, whatever you want to call him. Anyway, and he's, I think, backed out, so maybe had a moment or something going on there. Certainly isn't on a hot lap anyway. We'll go back to Arbegduri, who is now on a lap, and is just beginning a lap then. So up the hill then for our Bagduri. Gets the car turned in nice, riding plenty of the curb, not afraid to touch that curb. Some people probably wouldn't touch that curb. Curbs around Japan can be quite volatile, I suppose, especially in the next two corners. You get it wrong here, pretty much your lap will be ruined almost immediately. Don't want to ride that curb too much on the exit. Our Bagduri didn't do that, so that's pretty nice. Gets the car nicely slowed down, hits the apex, however, a bit of understeer mid-corner. That's going to lose him a lot of time. Had to wait a long time before he could get back on the throttle. And up the hill then towards Spoon. Then, and gets the car turning nice, almost maybe a bit too wide at Spoon. Hits over second apex quite nicely though. Up the hill towards 130R. Then, and obviously, well, 130R isn't any more 130R in truth, but is still improving by 6 seconds of 6-7 seconds on his previous lap time. So 135 he did do before, and this is going to see him probably jump into the 128s or 29s. It's a 27, so yeah, pretty much much closer. They are gaining on everyone in terms of spray, so that gap is coming down. We'll go to Earthquake. I think he's the next one we want to have a watch out for, and he's up by 2-3 tenths almost in the first sector. So Earthquake obviously currently sits 6th, would need about almost a second to go on to pole here in Japan, and currently Spray is your current pole sitter, who is right now top of times, but obviously, yeah, not really sure why he's top of times, really, if that makes sense. The reason why I say I'm not sure why he's top of times, was that really just one good lap, just hooked up correctly, or was it, you know, genuinely his pace? I would like to see him do at least a second lap to confirm whether that was, like, I suppose, you know, a lap properly hooked up, or whether that was just a lap, you know, where that's his actual pace. Because if that's his pace after one run in qualifying, he's going to be quite the threat in the race to win this one, actually, from that position, to be fair. So Nix is on a outlap. To be fair, he's the next one to come onto a lap, so he begins his lap now, and then we'll open up the DRS and head down the hill towards Buzzing Corner. Obviously, soon we are getting into the final stage of qualifying, so, you know, soon we will see drivers commit to their final laps, ultimately. Ralph Attari is now out there on a lap, so for him, he probably will be doing his final run in a bit of an off sequence to everyone else, compared to obviously the rest of the grid, but won't have time really to, you know, go out, commit to a lap, and then come back in. So he's going to have to get that pretty much correct. Obviously, no one would have to, well, your final run's your final run, I suppose, so you need it to be correct anyway. Anyway, watching Nick's doing a good job so far, and ultimately is in the middle sector of Spoon. So up towards 130R, so 11.9 for the middle. That's not too bad. So where will this put Nix in regards to then the grid, as he will come across the line? It's going to be a 128.7, gets him into the top 10. Now Nix will probably have time to go back to the pits and potentially put on a new set of tyres here, then, I reckon. So, right, here then comes one of the top 5, top 6 drivers then. Obviously, was on outlap, is on now his flying lap, and this will be probably his final run in qualifying. So what can Ralph Attari do in this qualifying session, and where can he put himself? Currently is a second behind the pole time, which is a 27.288. So that is your pole time at the moment. Currently he's just under a second. Currently improves though in the first sector by 1/10 and invalidates. So for him that could be detrimental in his qualifying then out there. So Pinky isn't on a lap. I think he'll have to come in, or that'll be his qualifying over. Looks like he's had a bad lap there. Nix, we know, has done his final run. So I suppose it's Owen then next we need to focus on, as he'll be probably the next driver, then followed by Arbegduri. So let's see what Owen can do. Currently 2 seconds behind the pole, and that is for Spray. So would need a huge improvement. Currently only 7 thousandths down on his own time, so this doesn't look like it will be any sort of improvement, unfortunately, and that will mean it will cement him at least to the 12th then here. Does improve by 97 thousandths, but doesn't move up the order, but does put, I suppose, a bit more breathing space between himself and Nemesis, who is currently sat in 13th. So what's our Begduri doing? Currently 7 seconds off his own personal best. And Ralph Attari's spun, so that's his qualifying, I think it's safe to say, over then here, as Pinky is getting out the way for the Ferrari of, I think, Arbegduri then, who's actually on a outlap, and currently Girthquake down by 6/10. So I think that pretty much means he will not improve neither. So who is improving? We currently can't see Arbegduri improving. In fact, why is he burning up so much of his ERS? That's what I'd like to know, considering he's invalidated and the lap is ruined, and he's into the pits. So that's Arbegduri, who won't be setting another lap time. What the kilometer is actually also not going to set another lap time. So really it's a 2-lap shootout really between Vigo and Spray, who are both on outlaps. And those are going to, well, it's going to come down to them two really. I don't think kilometer will have really anything in it in terms of being able to make it around. He left the pits really, really late, 1 minute 16 on the clock, so he's pretty much out. I think it's safe to say Vigo is going to make it around, and I'm confident Spray will also make it around, but can't be entirely too certain. He's only got 20 seconds to make it to the line, currently at 130R. So here we go then. Vigo is definitely one of the last runners to start a lap, so a bit of a messy end for some of these drivers to qualifying, but for Vigo, he isn't one of them, or at least I don't think he's going to be one of them. So up through the first sector, hooking up the car really, really nicely through here so far. Up towards Dunlop Curb, as Spray has begun his final qualifying lap, and Vigo is improving then by a 10th in the first sector, so he is up on his time and currently looking really, really nice out there in terms of getting the car turned in, hitting the apex of the hairpin, and gets the car immediately out. Bit of wheel spin, which will just slow him down a little bit, heading then up towards Spoon, but into Spoon, flicks the car in towards Spoon, flicks the car in again, bit of understeer, not quite hitting the apex on that second turn, but not looking still that bad, still looking like he's on a better lap potentially, and is 3/4 tenths up. So can he just find probably about another 2 tenths in this final sector? That's what he needs. Hits the apex of the triangle corner, takes the final corner, then, and out then the corner, the final corner for the final time, and goes on to provisional pole. However, what is Spray doing behind him? I don't think Spray's on an improvement. Spray isn't on an improvement, and there you go, your championship leader, proven why he is the championship leader, takes pole position at the last gasp of qualifying and takes it away from Spray, unless Spray has anything to say in that regard, and the answer to that is a clear, resounding no. However, is anyone else on our lap? I don't think they are. So there you go, you're qualifying then for this Japanese Grand Prix for round 3. Vigo takes pole, taking another pole on this season. Spray in P2, What the Kilometer is in P3, Arbegduri P4, Litz in P5, Storms in P6, Ralphatari P7, Girthquake 8th, 9th is Pinky, 10th Nix, Piano Jam in 11th, Witty is in 12th, Owen is in 13th, Nemesis is in 14th, Costa is in 15th, then Kotos is in 16th. Jails is in 17th, and we'll go through quickly the rest of the grid then. Obviously, these drivers did not set a lap time, just so you know. Sir Waffler is in 18th, Ayman is in 19th, and Limited Danny, unfortunately, getting disqualified from qualifying. So, just remember, there is no formation lap. Formation lap is turned off if you're listening into the stream, just so you know. Obviously, it is a sprint, so there will be no strategy in the first race. Second race, we'll see more strategy, I am sure, ultimately. And here we go then. So, the lights have come on, and we're about to get racing. It is go, 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 even though it's not go, 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 because all the drivers have stopped, and we've got a safety car. The safety car has been deployed. There we go then, ladies and gents. There we go. That is a safety car. You can see it there. The safety car has officially been deployed. What a great game. What a game. Lovely, yeah. Well done. Right, so we are going to restart the lobby, which is obviously all part of the parcel. So yeah. So gonna just create a new session, invite only, that's cool, sound as a pound. Ah, that's taking the donkey. Honestly. Right. Spray, second, limited Danny all the way at the back. Cool. Right. What the kilometre? Third. Right. Where's Arbegduri? Fourth. Litz in fifth. Right, yo.
I'm
Litz
in.
in fifth. Hi, are you good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just setting the grid. I had to redo it because yeah.
The grid. Yeah, no, I found out.
Just so you know. Right. So I'll be like 2 minutes.
So the race never started.
No. Race basically. What happened was, yeah, quite funny, or not funny. Um, basically, uh, race, basically, safety car got deployed. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Where's Ralph Fatari? Is he not joining back?
She should be.
Anyway, for now, Girthquake can go 7th. Pinky is then 8th. In 9th is Nix.
I had to run home, man.
Did you?
Rafathar isn't joining.
So you ain't joining, no? Piano Jam. Jules down the back more. Jules is something like there.
So we are 19. It should be 19.
Yeah. Right. Piano Jam is in 11th or 10th now. So Whitty is behind him. Then it's Owen. Then it is Nemesis. Who was behind them? Not. Then it's Costa and Kotos.
We're good.
And one sec, Sawafla, and then Eamon and Limited Danny. Cool. So now we are good.
Okay, so they're ready up. You can start the stream as well.
Oh, our stream's already going.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't pause. I didn't, Why not? No point of, cancelling.
Okay, then I have to welcome myself to the stream. Hello,
Yeah.
stream. I'm the co-commentator of Phonology. I'm Aaron Kidd. I was supposed to be here from the start, but I had something to do, and I jumped really from the sprint race and the race, so I didn't miss anything. Who took pole, actually?
Well, it was our championship leader, Vigo.
All right, then second, third.
Spray, and then in third was what the kilometer, I think. Yeah, what the kilometer. Let me just double check that because
Right.
Arbeck yeah, what the kilometer. Arbeck came fourth, then Litz fifth, Storms in sixth, then Rafatari, who isn't here, in seventh. So that promotes everyone up one, obviously. So then it will be Girthquake, Pinky, Nix, Piano Jam, Witty, Owen, Nemesis, Costa, and then Kotos, Jails, Sawafla, Eamon, and Limited Danny. Obviously, what you call it, how can you put it? Those guys at the back didn't set a lap time due to, I think, obviously, this tier 2 is slower than tier 3, isn't it? If I'm correct. In terms of, not slower, but
Yeah, it's lower, and it's
like,
kind of the same pace with tier 1, to be honest.
yeah. Because Tier 1 and Tier 2 are, you know, so pretty sure them drivers were on a, what you call it, a quali ban, if I'm correct.
Yep.
So, yep. Anyway, back into the action, I suppose, then.
Well, we never lost an action, so.
True.
But anyways,
Right.
5 lights.
And it's go for the Japanese Grand Prix. Or is it? Yes, it is.
Very good start from Vigo, and a kilometer is going from the outside, trying to take the position. We have already someone to DNF.
Yep. And we've got a virtual, I think, have we?
Pinky with Eamon. This is a safety car. I can see on the map.
I think it's a virtual safety car.
Alright.
It's got to be a virtual, surely.
Yeah, I can't see the safety car. Eamon doesn't have full wind.
But Sir Waffler is out of the Grand Prix then, and that's the first retirement. Well, not out of the Grand Prix, to be fair, his last second opportunity. But he's out of this sprint. So yeah. So now it's showing virtual safety car. So well, what are your thoughts on Japan as a race circuit?
Well, I raced yesterday. The track is pretty good. Imagine last time, the last time I raced here was a Formula 1 2021 in a league race. So it's a completely different. The tire wear still killing. It's a killer here, and the fuel as well. So if there is no safety car, this truck drinks a lot of fuel. But still a good lap, a good track. We can do 9-10 laps with soft in the sprint. So easy to do. We have a spinner again with Storm.
Yeah.
And
so
Owen as well, and Cortus getting overtaken by 2 cars, limited, and the Earthquake going side by side with turn 1.
Yeah.
Ahead. Yeah, this is a really good track. If you keep it on track without touching any curb, then you're good. Because you can
obviously
people spinning.
Yeah, obviously it's very, very old school, this track. One of my favourites personally. Ultimately, lots of good corner names as well. Dagna 1, Dagna 2, the hairpin, Spoon, 130R, Buzzing Corner, which is now turn 1. So yeah, and the Triangle Corner as well, which is that final chicane which Senna and Prost collected one another at back in 1989, I think it was, or it might have been 88, I can't remember. Obviously wasn't alive. But yep. Anyway, up the hill then, Vigo leads from Spray, from the kilometre, from Litz, and I think Nix might be having a look at Arbeigduri then here into the triangle chicane. Does have a little bit of a look on the outside, gets a bit of a switchback on the inside, but lost.
And lost this.
Yeah, that will be him
rejoining the track. That isn't a good rejoin the track. Not a good rejoin on the track. I think that we'll see.
No.
Be careful when you rejoin the track.
But Jail's going for a move down the inside, and unfortunately gets tagged around. I think it was by Costa. Then as they try to go side by side through then Buzzing Corner, and that's Jail's back down outside the top 10, was running in 10th then, as Arbeigduri is, well, not actually sure where he is. Where is he actually? He's had a huge moment. Oh, there he is. He's at Dunlop curb. Yeah.
He spun the same corner. Maas not Bob spun yesterday in TNF, so
yeah,
I think he's following his teammate from yesterday.
To be fair, it's a pretty tricky corner, that Dunlop, because obviously the car, as you go over the hill, likes to get sometimes a bit loose on the rear. You can find, so think that's what happened to Arbejduri. Then as Nix is off the track again for a second time, as that will promote then Kotos and Pinky up the order then here into 12th and 13th. Then here comes Jails then on board with the Red Bull driver, as I think Whitty and Costa are battling it out then here, and Whitty is going to get DRS, which will help him out, but in fact Costa has also got DRS as well, so pretty much an even drag race that would have been into turn 1, besides maybe what aero setups they're running ultimately. And Jails then up into 9th ahead of now Limited Danny, who started at the back, unfortunately got disqualified in qualifying. Can't remember why he got disqualified, but did get disqualified, as Airman sets the new fastest lap of the race, even though, to be fair, he's a long way back after already 4 laps of racing.
I think you like a lot this track, man.
Yeah. It's a
Because
good
of
track.
Heiko?
No, I just like it because it's a good track.
Side by side.
And good for racing.
Real quick, when Limited Danny almost crossed together, the same with Verstappen and Vettel, the same corner.
Yeah.
But Limited Danny kept it on track with Costas struggling for at least 10 actually. They made a mistake and Red Bull just overtaking for the last point finish of P8. It's going to be an interesting battle for the last point of the sprint race, because until P4 have a big gap after that. And Whitey going for the move 2 manches, just P6. Red Bull running 7-8, and we have a spinner of
Spray
and Pray. Lost the P2.
Spins it again into the gravel.
Be careful once you rejoin. That's a close rejoin. Maybe. It goes out, goes back in the track in 15 or 13 positions.
Yeah. So Spray losing a lot of positions there, and that in fact allows Vigo just to get away from the rest even more. Now got a 1.5 second gap out front, and will extend his championship advantage. Already has got a 31 point advantage, Vigo does. Anyway, Spray makes up a move into 14th. Someone else probably having a moment. But yeah, I actually really like this track. It's beautiful, I think. Good for racing. Whoever decided to put this on
for racing, side by side, it's a pretty good track. If you trust the other driver, you're driving with, it's a pretty good track, man.
I think this is just, you know, it's because some tracks are what you call it, negative for racing, as in, like, they might look good initially, like Austria I think is one of them, and what you call it, Monza, they're pretty actually negative for racing, in the sense, you know, you get stuck in a DRS train around Monza and you're literally going to be behind the other car for God knows how many laps. It's almost like Monaco but without barriers. Someone else has had a moment further back.
And Nemesis, who spun earlier, he's down to P15.
Yeah, and the two McLarens are fighting it out. Kotos and Limited Danny then having a decent battle. A little bit of a lag for Kotos.
He lags a little bit, but he's still good. I think McLaren needs to fight. Ooh, and we have the pods taken out. Costas with the Red Bull. And we have a safety car, lap 6.
Yeah, that is detrimental to Costa, and that has
no, it wasn't the Red Bull. It was Girthwick with Costas.
Yeah,
Girthwick doesn't have a front wing. He's still in, but that ruined Costas' very good chance to get a points finish. He was P6, P7.
Yeah, that well, he was making up good positions But what it does do now does bunch up the entire order, and the lead Vigo had is now
Not
nullified.
for long though. This is lap 6. The safety will come, I think, lap 7. So
Yeah, no, I will.
the next lap. I don't think everyone will catch up.
Nah, my doubts, but that is gonna be with it now a bit more nullified, will mean Vigo will come under maybe a little bit of pressure from the kilometer to, you know, try and defend that position. And obviously, well, Kilometer is quite a good, to be fair, driver. He's clean from what I've seen, so he ain't going to go for any bold or irrational moves, which I think is fair to say.
And Griffith retired on the pit lane.
Yeah, obviously had that incident with Gossart. He did Earthquake. Not really entirely sure who was to blame, but looked like both of them got tangled together on the exit and sent each other into the barriers. Also, the trouble is around here, once you do have an incident like that, it's very hard to recover due to the grass and the gravel. So once you go,
yeah, that's true as
gone.
well. But the grid almost bunch up together. I think it's Nemesis, Abujuri, and Dury. I don't know how to call it yet. And Merriman, who didn't catch up, but safe finish in this lap, like I said. But the grid is almost there, so maybe what is a kilometer, and Leeds maybe have an opportunity to.
Yeah. So Vigo is gonna restart then, I think here, and he will get the restart done, and he's gone now. So Vigo leads the field away from Kilometer, who actually got a decent restart then here on that one. Then from obviously Litz as well. Piano Jam then follows, followed by Jails, and Jails in fact coming under the pressure then from the McLaren of Kotos.
Ooh,
then potentially both of them have a little bit of a touch, but nothing major. And Limited Danny then is the car behind. Nemesis making up positions. It storms the other Williams at the moment, going backwards. Pinky inside of the top 10 as Nix. Is that Nix off the track, or was that Pinky? I think it might have been Pinky actually off the track, and yep, Pinky losing position.
Lost so many positions. He's back down to P7.
Yeah.
And gets almost. He made almost spin around with Kostas, so kept him on track.
Yep, that's them two then. And Jails up into 4th after starting in P20 as Piano Jam losing more positions, going off the track, getting slightly pushed out wide by Nix in 7th. However, Piano Jam will now have a bit of a moment to kind of settle down and recover, and a bit of a breather on this straight as he tries to move around the outside of 130R. That's a brilliant move by Piano Jam. Very brave to go round the outside there. Pretty much that's like Fernando Alonso on Schumacher back in 2005 or 6, I think it was, in them Renault days. But yeah, that was a brilliant move by him. As
Fernando Alonso.
Yeah, Kotos also trying to get up.
He went slow. Just let Nix go. And I don't know what happened there. Sprint Ray lost position because he goes slow, and Limited Danny overtook Sprint Ray. That's also the final lap of the sprint race.
And Limited Danny's spun.
Limited Danny.
He is now going to be down the position. So can Kotos get Witty then here, and goes into the hairpin, tags the Mercedes man around, and that is going to send them two down the order then, unfortunately. And here comes then Pinky. Does have a little bit of a look maybe up the inside, but doesn't have the opportunity at Spoon, but going to get a good exit. But nonetheless, going to go back to the race leader, who is going to come through the triangle corner and to win the sprint. Then it's another victory for Vigo.
Vigo.
And Vigo wins in Japan for the sprint.
Spray and Pray got the move done. What a move by Spray and Pray. And Koch is going for the move to piano jump as well. He gets him before the line. Koch gets 2 points.
And also Jails misses out on a top 3 finish by 1,000 seconds. That is ridiculously close. Eamon
so close,
15th then, and Arbejduri completes that sprint race for today.
That's a great sprint. Oh, if you take out the incidents that happened, that's pretty good.
That was a good sprint.
Overall. I hope the race has less
drama.
Incidents. Yeah. Not drama, incidents.
Oh,
we want drama,
incidents.
but we don't win incidents. So, Nico takes the checker flag, get the 8 points, then okay, take it. You're the leader.
No, you go for it.
Okay, thank you. So, what is a kilometer takes second? Leeds takes third, with Zihos takes fourth, Nix takes fifth, Spray and Pray sixth, seventh with Kotsos, 8 Piano Jam, Stinky takes 9, 10 Nemesis, 11 Owen, YT 12, Limited Dan 13, Storm 14, Airman 15, Abeguri 16, and the rest of the thing I think it's DNF. I think so. I think Grafwick retired, and then who retired in lap 1? I don't remember. Things. Yeah, I don't remember who retired lap 1.
Waffler?
Yeah. So yeah, me nice. So Waffler. See, you remember better than me.
Yeah. Anyway, now obviously we'll have a bit more strategy in this race now. So, what would you do? Obviously, you raced here, I presume, last night, as you said earlier. Unless you were lying to me, which you weren't.
No. No, wasn't
so,
I raced yesterday.
What's your what would you do for strategy around this circuit, around Japan?
Well, there's a definitely safety car out, but the tire was still killing, so we'll go fast to mediums.
To mediums. There we go then. So, here we go then. It's lights out and away we go, I think. Yes, and Vigo gets away well from the pole.
A very better start than what is a kilometer, going for around the outside. Keeps the position, what is a kilometer. We have a spinner of Kochos, and Owen, and Piano Jam.
And I think there might be a virtual, or just maybe momentarily yellow flag.
4 cars spun around. And Storm spun around. He doesn't have a front wing. What do we have? Is it virtual safety car?
Now we got a virtual.
From the debris of Storm's front wing. It was outside the track, but still.
But Whitty makes up 6 positions on that race start, and same with Arbejduri as well, and Sawafla. So those are the big winners. Kotos down 10 and Piano Jam down 11 then on that race start on lap 1. Of course, it is only a virtual, so therefore the grid will not get bunched up together, unlike the full safety car. And once we get going, then of course, well, they'll be able to save fuel under this virtual, but that's about it. But once we get going, might end up being a flat-out race then, potentially without any safety car interventions. And I think the virtual is about to end very shortly, which it should do.
You have many different tire strategies. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 people with shots.
Yep. So, race has now resumed, and Vigo gets away well, I suppose. ultimately coming under a bit of pressure actually from Kilometer, who actually done a really good restart there. However, both our top two are on mediums, and actually the strategies are pretty split out there, to be fair. There is a few on the hards, a few on the mediums, and a few on the softs, really. So clearly a strategy split opinion for everyone in terms of what's the best way to go. Still, I do think mediums to hards or hard softs probably best way.
Spinner.
And we've got a safety car. So that's the first safety car of the race, and everything will get then put back together. And for the drivers that were down at the back, that'll be good news for them.
And I don't think it's time to fix it. I don't think it's time to fix it. It's
Oh
very
no,
early.
they've
Only
not
if you
even
have
done a
maybe
lap of racing.
softs, maybe you go for a two-stop.
No.
Well, I did three-stop yesterday because I picked up front wing damage,
I just wouldn't.
and I did three-stop, and I get to the points at the end. I give it stops in.
If you got damage, then fair enough, yeah. But if you ain't got damage, I think the best idea is to stick with what you've got, in my opinion, and just because we haven't even had a lap of racing yet, to be fair. Lap 1 was covered by virtual. Lap 2, half a lap of racing, sort of, if you know what I mean. So everyone's tyres will still be fresh, and therefore, just no point of giving up track position. Because this also circuit is also a very key full track position. If you have track position around here, like some other circuits, Monaco, Hungary, Spain are a few to mention, you can obviously control the race. But yeah, so first safety car of the full race. Obviously, we did have a safety car in the sprint.
What's your strategy for tires? You think going hard to mediums will work? If there's an early safety car and it doesn't come out again?
I think you can almost go hard softs, in my opinion. You'd even probably go medium softs if you really know how to stretch the mediums, but for that to work, I think you need to, how can I put it? Let's say Vigo built up a 7-second gap during this stint, then he doesn't have to really react, I don't think, because I think once the tyres around here, a bit like Qatar, once they reach that drop off, they kind of remain consistent, if you know what I mean. I don't think they, until they get to about 70%, they're pretty consistent on a lot of the game, really. So yeah, still, be it interesting what goes on at the moment, certainly with the soft runners, as I think they're probably the biggest threat at the moment, if I'm being truthful, in terms of causing the most trouble and getting that advantage, because they'll probably be in, I don't know, lap 12 probably, whereas the medium runners be a couple laps later.
So what's your bold prediction for the race? Now we are under safety car. Want to hear your bold prediction?
Jails wins, Vigo P2.
That's a very bold prediction.
Actually, I think that's a pretty safe prediction, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright.
I think, I think that's a safe prediction. Pressure is on Jails for now, then. That's all I say. Pressure is on him for him to deliver. Because
my pressure will go to the Greek guy, to Kostos. Think he will manage to go to the podium positions. Maybe take a P2 or P3.
To be
I
fair,
hope for a win, but he can do it. He has the pace to do it. He's underrated to the league in the way that he's in tier 3. He's a very fast driver, but you don't hurt him a lot like everyone is getting hurt. Like it's not like Dan and who else? Who was Neujob or Vigo. He's more quiet guy, but he still gets the job done. Obviously, he's a previous race winner, so I think he has a pace on tire 2, maybe get a podium or even a win. If he didn't spun around, I think he will have a very good position to go for a win.
Still, we're about to then restart the race here, so let's see whose prediction ends up correct, I suppose. Obviously, someone's off the track at the back there, not sure who it is. Looked like maybe one of the Alpines. In fact, Spray's... Oh, it's getting really bunched up at the back there, to be fair. Anyway, Vigo is obviously controlling the pace. Obviously, it is down to Vigo when to go, and is he gone?
Very slowly.
Why? He's gone now, though, and really bunched them up.
Very with the grid.
Yeah, and obviously Litz gets away well, but is on those fresh softs, and they've all gone then on that. Pretty sure everyone got away through cleanly in turn 1, despite a few picking up penalties. Unfortunately, for 5-second penalties, they're going to have to serve them at their next stop, and I'm not sure if there would be any way of getting those 5 seconds removed.
Yeah, if you do them in the pit lane, you have a spinner there, as I saw it. Anyway, if you do them in the pit lane, you can't remove them if you ask us to. You can add them to your time back, like add them the 5 seconds back.
Well, that is probably going to be a bit of a shame for them drivers either way. To lose 5 seconds, not the best motivation. That'll probably be, to be fair for them drivers, maybe a virtual safety car would be good, or a full safety car maybe a bit later on now.
Full safety car.
But we might see a change of the lead here, as we see Vigo and Kilometer go side by side. This is probably one of the first times this season Vigo, the championship leader, has come under pressure so far, has won every race there is this season.
For the outside, and he gets wide. He might be overtaken by Lidge. Doesn't. But that was very aggressive. Going for the outside.
Yeah, tries it on the outside, failed to get the move done on that one, and that obviously means Vigo remains ahead for another lap, but Vigo uncharacteristically looking a little bit vulnerable then in this opening lap, or lap and a half now, of this restart, and up the hill towards the hairpin to go. Got a retirement of Arbegduri, he's out in the pit lane, then retiring then there, as we see Nix then get a position and trying to chase down obviously Litz for P3, and then in this race obviously them two are on the soft, so therefore will be benefiting from that extra grip, especially considering that the car behind them is on the hard compound and the car behind them is on mediums, and therefore won't have as much. But Gerald's off the circuit into 130 above, and
Graham almost lost it. Keeps it very impressive with the track. It's a move.
Yeah,
it's impressive by Graham Gray.
A few aggressive moves going on out there, to be fair, and it's good, but almost some people losing it at certain times. In terms of going off track, but nonetheless it is one of the difficult tracks to keep it on, which is fair enough. But yeah, He's down into then 10th. Actually, Spray probably is another driver who we didn't mention. Probably can get a podium today if he keeps it clean.
Well. If he didn't have a spin on the sprint race, I think he will probably be a big threat for Liga for the win.
Yeah, no, he could be, because his qualifying pace, his first lap, he done a 27.2. Took Vigo 3 attempts to get into the 27.2s and beat that. So, yeah, I think he can be a big threat indeed in this race, depending if he can just keep it consistent and keep it clean. Like, that's probably the biggest thing that he will have to do, but certainly does have the pace around here to do that, as we see now Jules under a little bit of pressure from the Aston Martin, but I think in a minute he's going to turn that pressure into being the one to give the pressure, and obviously does have a good amount of battery. And here it goes, Jules then has a little look on the inside but doesn't go for the move into turn 1, as we see the Mercedes off.
Going wide again.
Yep, losing the car and going back to the race lead. Again, narrowing up between them two, and only 4 tenths separates our 2 race leaders then here. However, Kilometer is using a bit more ERS battery compared to Vigo, who currently is got a bit more in reserve when he wants to deploy that. So obviously, is Kilometer, is he, using that battery, and that's why he's keeping up with Vigo potentially. As Litz then got a bit of a train behind him of about, 10 cars, or whatever.
He's running with the tires. He lost time from what is it, the longer, and he has a low RS with Nix, with Evan, and Steven have all a lot of ERS. So yeah, they're having good getting ERS. To be honest. The 2-3 makes it very close to Litz.
And whilst they're fighting, this allows the 2 race leaders to get away, but finally Nix gets the move done and gets it way done before turn 1. So that will see Nix now up into the top 3 then here. However, those softs certainly won't have as good now as grip as the mediums, and in fact we've seen now Kilometer lose a bit of time.
He didn't stay for sure. 1.5 for 2 tenths. He lost for sure
a lot of time. Yeah. And in fact,
Nerman goes wide and lost 3 positions from real quick stinking Spray down to P9. He went wide.
That was a bit of a aggressive move by Spray, just sent it up the inside of Pinky and gives back the position, fair enough, but certainly a bit of aggressive lunge from the Williams driver of Spray, who just sent it into the hairpin and got it a little bit wrong, making wheel contact. Ultimately hope that didn't give either of them damage, but
yellow flag again. It's Whitey with thing. He's alone again. He's trying to car in.
Yeah. Are having momentarily yellow flags, but to be fair, at least everyone is keeping it going, which is nice to see, and close racing going on out there as well. Here goes Spray then down the inside of Pinky, but I don't think the move was on, and basically spun Pinky out of that one. And yeah, Spray has literally, his day seemingly going bad to worse for Spray. I think that move was never on.
Yeah, the gap wasn't really here. I think Stinky was ahead clearly, and he closed the door.
Yeah.
But he was supposed to. He's in front. He can do whatever he wants when you are front, and you can close the door. and Spring went for a move, and that was just
Almost
late move.
almost like a Ayrton Senna into Prost there, that was.
Yeah, I was thinking about it right now. I was about to say, but that was, I think, before that corner.
No, it was literally out that corner. They had two incidents, because they had the incident in, I think it was 89 and then, or 88, can't remember which year it was. That was
I think it
at,
was 89.
that was at this corner here, where Vigo is right now. That's the triangle corner, it's called. And then
Yeah,
turn
when they're going
one,
straight, yeah.
yeah, Senna went into, I think it was
Yeah,
it Senna?
I thought it was before the turning point. That's what I mean.
It might have been Prost actually who went into Senna actually that time, and then Senna got disqualified from that race for basically getting outside help to get his car back into the race. Basically, marshals gave him a push, which wasn't allowed, and got disqualified. And then the year later, I think it was something to do with the pole position being on the wrong side of the grid. Basically, pole was where P2 was, and Senna decided to basically send
To
it.
go straight on.
Yep. So.
Well, he said that I'm going to go straight on turn one. No one listened to him.
Yeah. But you know what they say: if you don't go for a gap, you're no longer a
doesn't
racing
exist.
driver. Yeah.
Well, he went for it, but he didn't get the move done.
Nope. And that is pretty much a shame for both of them, because that has ruined kind of both of their races in a sense.
Yeah, but the championship was won there, but I think Senna got his target right. I mean, in a way that he won the championship. Prost didn't. That was his target, to win the championship. I
Yeah.
don't think his race he has got the stripe, but the championship didn't get lost into his hands. So it was supposed was a win from Senna.
Currently, Vigo though, he doesn't have to worry about doing a Senna or a Prost, as he's leading quite nicely. And here goes Jayles, then up into the podium, gets the move done nicely before turn one, and that is now Jayles making the advantage of that now hard tyre, which will start to become to fruition. And as we now see the softs rapidly fall off, his next target will be obviously Kilometer, who is on mediums. So maybe next time around he will be making a move for P2 in this race then here. And that will then see him only 2 seconds off the lead after 12 laps of racing. So that will be pretty nice for Jayles to be only 2 seconds behind on fresher, probably on better tyres at this stage in the race. And quite a few gaps emerged now out there, as I think a few of them have done their pit stops. Still waiting on a lot come in though.
Soft run is still going from 11 laps. I think Nixel needs to go in this lap. I think they went very late. They're gonna lose a lot of time. And Götter's go for a move to the inside. Gets the move done. That was very good.
Yeah.
Needs a little time. Yeah. And Nix went to the pits, and we have a move to the P2.
And Jayles has now taken P2 in this race, so that's Jayles up into second place after 13 laps of racing, and he is coming through the field. Kotos also up into 7th, isn't too far behind either actually, only 10 seconds off the race lead, so yep, certainly a good potential for him. And now obviously for the guys that started on the hards, we'll have a bit of clean air, however, on board with Kotos, and he's off into the gravel. Lost also his front wing. Basically almost done, done basically what he done earlier. Hit the barrier on the inside, and unfortunately not going to trigger a safety car, which obviously I think that's good. In some sense, obviously not for Kotos, that's bad.
Yeah,
but
not for him.
yeah, no, it's good that safety car ain't deployed just for a bit of a, what you call it, front wing. Kind of hate that when it gets deployed for
And
something like that.
he has to come in because Japan, Suzuka actually say one of the same. Anyway, Suzuka is one of the tracks that even if you have front wing damage, you can't race here. I did it yesterday. I had a front wing damage. My end plate was missing. I did 4 laps. I lost about 8 seconds or 9 seconds. Lost a lot of seconds.
Fair, this track is what you call it, very aero deficient, as in, you know, you need a good aero package around here, so tiny bit of wing loss is huge. As like you were just saying.
Does go in from hards. He will have mediums all the way to the end, but he will be very vulnerable in the end.
Mediums now to the end obviously will be able to do it. Like, what have we got? Only 13 laps in this race remaining, so yeah, I think that is obviously doable by a very lot. Kilometers come in for now hards, so he's obviously gone on to hards. Now I do wonder whether or not we'll see any of the race leaders go on to softs, so could we see maybe Vigo try to extend? Now this is what I was talking about earlier. Vigo does have obviously a bit of a gap, a bit of a buffer to Jail, so he could try to extend here and try to get to the soft stage. He doesn't really have to worry from anyone further behind because Kilometer was, I think, about 5 seconds behind him. However, I do expect Vigo to be in soon, but does continue on, so it is extending that tyre offset.
He might go for the softs.
I do think that is doable.
They can go on the sprint. They barely can go 9 laps. But on the race, yesterday when I put softs, they went for 12 laps and were strong. Like Limited Danny is doing right now. He's just speeded after 13 laps on softs.
Yeah. The softs is I think the softs and mediums are pretty strong tyres around here. Obviously, I do expect Jails to definitely go soft, so this is why I think Vigo probably should. Well, I think Vigo and Jails are fighting really for this win between each other at the moment. So I think really whatever Vigo does, Jails, you know, either has to follow or do the opposite, and basically, well, I'm not really sure what I'd do if I was Jails. I don't know if I would stop now, try to undercut. Trouble is, 3 seconds is quite a bit of a gap, to be fair. However, I will say
a lot of time though with the brand new tires and this.
Yeah. Iron Kid left the party. Is he still in the party? Not really entirely sure. What happened there? I'm gonna try and quickly invite Iron Kid back to the party. Give me a second, because was having a decent chat with Iron Kid. I'm gonna quickly leave the party currently, and sorry for the
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh, hi. Yeah,
I got kicked from the
Yeah, I just
lobby.
saw. Do you want to invite back?
Oh, you want you to invite back? What do you mean? No, I got not kicked from the lobby of the game. I got kicked from the lobby of the party.
Yeah, I just noticed. That's what I mean. I just want to make sure you were in the lobby. That's all. Yeah, cool.
I was talking about the Red Bull. If he went for the soft, but he's losing now much time. Cars ahead of fighting.
Yeah. So Jail's pitted obviously under the well, not under anything. He just pitted a moment ago, so
Vigo's
he
pitting
is
now.
having to fight. But he
I
gets
think
through
he's
them.
going for. He's going on softs. He does go on softs. What
Well,
channel laps on softs?
that is, I think, credit where credit is due to our race leader. To be fair, actually, I saw this strategy work the other day in a different league, obviously, and it did work. So I think that might just see Vigo win this Grand Prix. And I'll tell you what, if Vigo does win this Grand Prix, this will probably be one of the better wins he's had this season, I think, personally. Because he had to deal with a bit of pressure from a kilometre in that first stint. And then, obviously, JAWS isn't, I know, the easiest of drivers to deal with either, from my own
Oh,
personal
he spawns.
experience.
As you said that. Just spawns in the background.
So
That tricky corner, the left-handed
I have
corner.
officially put the commentator's curse on JAWS. Nice.
It's back to P10. So I think, yeah, Vigo. Well, Erwin didn't peak yet. So I think if safety comes out right now, Erwin will be still in front of him.
Yeah, Eamon is a bit of a
He will go for shots. There's no way you go for hards now.
no,
You extend the lead, the stint to
and
so
he's
many
in.
laps. He will go for shots. I don't think he will go for hards now. If he wanted to go for hards, he should go earlier.
Those tyres probably spent probably on like
shots.
78%. So Eamon now back out into the race on softs. Will drop down probably into, I'm going to say, 9th or 8th here. Actually, he's going to drop into 8th, so head of 9th, and comes out back on the track. Head of Storms, but behind Pinky, but will have much fresher tyres than Pinky. So Pinky isn't really someone he's fighting. Pinky is on hards. I'm not sure if he's made a stop, actually, so does Pinky have to stop again? Yes, he does. So Pinky started on hards, obviously had that incident, and is now, well, currently losing a lot of time. So soon he'll be probably in. However, safety car would be good for him. Don't think we're going to get one.
For him.
Still, Vigo doing well, leading the way by a lot, and Litz is being chased down by Kilometer, who's picked up a penalty. How big of a penalty does he have? 3 seconds, so that's gonna hurt him a lot, actually, especially if it's bunched up. Could drop down into, currently would drop down to 5th, so lose 2 positions.
Vigo with a fast lap.
Yeah, unsurprising. So he's going to extend his
Kilometer going for a
lead
move to the
by
outside, gets wide again. Can't go for a move. I think the third time he does that and he goes wide. I think he breaks so much late because of the line of the game. Because the game told you break later, but the later is going wide.
Trouble is, if he didn't go wide, he could probably get that move done. Like, that's the third time, as he said. He's tried it around the outside and it's failed, unfortunately, today. Like, yeah, could have easily had it. At least once or twice, cost him a good, maybe, well, better result here. But he is on, obviously, hard, so we'll then, well, his race will start to come to him anyway, naturally. So I do expect him to get past Litz and to probably pull away. How much can he pull away, though, by? That will be the question remaining to be seen. And looking like he's almost pushing the Mercedes man through the corners as he almost ghosted through. And in fact, Litz has, I think, been removed from the session. Not really
Yeah,
sure why.
Yeah, he's moving down positions. From P4, he'll be down to 50 in a little bit.
Unfortunately, I have no way of inviting him back because I don't have him added. Or don't even, well, yeah. So, don't know if you've got him. You could maybe add him back, give him a server invite or whatever.
I'll see. Let's see if I can get him back.
But
I might have him.
I feel quite bad for him now because he's losing all those positions, and Spray then becomes the next beneficiary of it, followed by Eamon. But yeah, even if he does rejoin back, gonna be, I suppose, so annoyed anyway to be all the way down in the position he is now. So, nonetheless, lap 20. Obviously, we are on, and kilometer being chased a little bit by
unfortunately.
Earthquake. So that's a bit of an
He can join from the previous invite.
Yeah, hopefully he can do that. But yeah, not entirely sure if he can or can't. But that's a bit of a disappointing for him. So here we go then. Earthquake down the inside on hards as well. Gets the move done up into P2, and that sees him now ahead of the Aston Martin, who's actually pulling away from Nix, so that's good for him. Got 1.5 second gap ahead of Nix then, who's in 4th currently. And thing for, obviously, Kilometer does need to pull out 3 seconds if he wants to keep that podium. However, off the track, that won't help his case, and off the track again, and lost a lot of time now in that part of the track in Degner 1 and 2, and that will now see him come under pressure from the AlphaTauri driver, who currently is in 4th then here.
Sorry, he'll flag again.
Yeah. Earthquake's picked up 3 seconds. That's not good for him. This podium fight is going to come down to penalties, isn't it?
In the end, yes. For the podium position, yes. Nick's real close to what is a kilometer. He's 3/10.
Yep.
I think he might go for the overtake now, and he has a pretty low down for it. He does go for a move. He gets P3. He needs to remember though, if he just stay close with the people in front who has a penalty, still he's gonna get a the podium at the end.
Yep. In terms of sprint points, it's 10-1, isn't it, or is it 8-1?
No, still it's like real life. Doesn't change that.
8-1. Cool. I just wanted to know, so I'm just trying to do a bit of maths in my head in terms of how many points Vigo is going to have after this race.
In maximum.
Going to have a lot. He's currently on 65, so he gets 8 points. That put him just shy of that. Don't think he's got fastest lap, or does he? He might have actually fastest lap, so I think he's going to have about 99. If I'm correct.
99 points, Jesus.
Yep. Already after three races. Eamon's actually got fastest lap, so I think he'll be on 98 actually. So someone's taken a point, at least off Vigo. And yeah. Vigo really is dominating.
Doesn't make a change though for him.
No. But you got to give credit where credit is due. He's doing the job, and you know, others haven't really, I don't think, stepped up to the plate. I'm a bit disappointed in Jails, and Kilometer I think's made mistakes as well. And they certainly have good pace to probably you know, go fight. Same with Kotos. If they, you know, just sort of didn't make those mistakes, I think they would have been certainly in the fight today. But Vigo hasn't made mistakes, and that's why you would give him a lot of credit for his consistency and pace. So, anyway, Spray is in 5th, ahead now of Kilometer, and that's then him chasing down Airman. And in fact, actually, Spray has sort of like rekindled his race here, and he's sort of now coming back into this one in terms of the fight for the podium, which has been quite an interesting fight, at least in this race. So, Goody maybe still a podium, as Jails becomes the next victim of the penalty system and picks up a 3-second time penalty. So, we've got about, I don't know, 8 cars out there, or 6 cars with penalties. It's a lot of cars with penalties, half the grid almost, ultimately. So down the straight they go. Pinky makes up a move, I think here on Limited Danny. 130 yard gets the move done and will be now up into the points, but Limited Danny coming back at him on the brakes, gets then the move done finally for Pinky, and had to hold his line and hold Limited Danny, who tried to go back on the inside and then around the outside, but they couldn't get the move on the exit. Anything you're seeing interesting out there? Kid?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still watching what you're watching.
Ah, fair enough.
I don't see many much, but I think the battles for now for P3 or P2 actually, with a penalty of Earthquake.
Yeah.
I think Airman and Nick's fighting who's going to take the P2 at the end.
Yeah, no, indeed. So, pretty much that's really where the battle is at in this race. Ultimately, I do think it's probably between Airman, Nix, and Girthquake, because I do think what maybe Spray did earlier on Pinky, that one would probably be heading to the stewards. That incident, so
probably yes.
I think he might end up getting a penalty for that, so I wouldn't. Well, he is in the hunt, but he's a bit more of an outsider, I'd have to say, ultimately, in the end, as we're on to lap 25 now. And Spray definitely is outsider now after picking up a 3-second penalty in addition to any potential steward inquiries after the race, as Airman gets then, well, still holding on to that P3 ahead of Nix. Airman does have soft tyres though, so that might be helping him, and Nix does have 12 lap old mediums, so for him that is, well, they're pretty worn at this stage in the race. When he finishes, they'll be about 15 laps old then. As we see maybe Jail's going to try and move to get back up into P6, and has a little look but doesn't go. But we'll have DRS on this straight, and that will give him the straight line advantage. Almost getting the move done.
Oh, that's a big crash into DNF.
Yeah, and it won't cause a safety car, but both of them are out of the race, and that has seen, unfortunately, their race end in complete misery. For them to, that's such a shame, especially for Kilometer, who was running, I suppose, in a decent position as well, whereas JL was probably a bit underperforming there. in truth. But that's him out then of this race. Nick's up then, still in P4 actually, not up into P4, but Eamon now applying the pressure to Girthquake, who is in second, and obviously got about a lap and a half to get that move done. Doesn't have to get the move done, obviously would get the position anyway due to the penalty that Girthquake has picked up. 3 seconds for track limits, unlikely that gets removed. So anyway, into 130R, and Eamon is all over the back of Girthquake. Then out of the final corner as we're now starting the final lap. So both of them using up their battery. In fact, Girthquake doesn't have any more battery left, flashing on his rear light. And there goes Eamon up into P2 to seal the deal on then that second podium place. This also probably means Nix will take that final podium spot as well.
If nothing happens, yeah, he will take P3.
Yeah. So if nothing really happens here, that's it.
Keep it on the track. That's all.
Yeah, I think if I was Nix, I'd be driving obviously within myself and, you know, just keep it within the white lines, don't push, you know, and there you go, that would be a podium. That's how I think I would do it, but Eamon has a little bit of a moment, which will see Girthquake then reapply that pressure, heading up in the spoon, but I don't think he's got really enough in it then. But nonetheless, we'll go back to our race leader Vigo, who, well, has been so far
dominant
this season. Yep, that's one word to describe it. You know, and he's going to come out the final corner to win then the Japanese Grand Prix then after another win. Eamon gets the move on the final corner and Girthquake out the podium. Then Girthquake finishes in fourth. Nick's promoted up into third. Then that's your podium in Japan, in the land of the rising sun, of course.
Stinky with the crash.
What's going on here?
Stinky.
Yeah, Stinky, well, gets the move, but not sure
Maybe the Danny got
where he
from that.
Danny up into then 8th. Stinky down into 8th, now down into 9th. Kotos in 8th.
Got so lost position for his teammate.
Is in 7th.
With that crash.
Yeah. Witty, Storms is out, apparently. Not sure how. Witty is going to come across the line in 10th. Then Litz 11th, who unfortunately...
Storm didn't finish.
No, I'm pretty sure he crossed the line.
He didn't cross the white line. The finish line.
I think...
No,
he might have
he's
crashed.
losing positions. No, he was P9. He lost positions.
I'm going to have to double check that, because I'm pretty sure he did. No offense. I think he might have crashed on the final...
probably.
Like, what you call it. He probably... Because sometimes if you cross the line and then you, what you call it, crash or
DNF.
spin, or DNF, whatever you want to call it, it will just DNF you and say you didn't finish even though you did. So, did Storms finish? Yes, he did. He finished in P6.
14. No, yeah.
I'll send you the screenshot in the thingy majingy.
P12 for me. Storm is P12.
But yeah, I'll send you the screenshot in the commentary chat quickly.
Okay.
Um,
That's it for tonight. You want to take the final standings for tonight?
Yep, sure. So, the final standings then for tonight's race, obviously, depending obviously on penalties, but nonetheless. Vigo then will be the winner, undoubtedly. Armin is in second, followed by Nix third, taking the final podium spot. Girthquake is in fourth, Spray is in fifth. Then it will be Obviously, Storms, as I say, in 6th. Then it'll be Kotos in 8th. Sorry, Limited Danny in 7th. Then it'll be Kotos in 8th. Then Pinky 9th. YT 10th. Litz in 11th. Outside points. Piano Jam is in 12th. Then I'll just go through the rest of grid on here. Then Nemesis will be 13th, and then Owen will be 14th. Then none finishers or did not finish, unfortunately, in this race will be Kilometer. Unfortunately, in that second to last lap incident, Jails also getting caught up in that. Kosa and Abegduri, who DNF'd earlier on, and Sir Waffler was one of the first to DNF in not just the sprint but also in the race, unfortunately. So, who's your driver of the day? I presume you're going to say Vigo?
Yeah, he's very dominant, man.
Yeah.
He's doing the best he does, so I don't think we have anything else.
Yeah, no, I agree. Vigo deserves it, to be fair. That driver of the day. So until the next race, which will be where are we
Not the
racing
next
next
week. We
week?
have a week break.
Okay, where are we racing the week after? Let's have a look. So race after that is Singapore for the Singapore Grand Prix. Then in 2 weeks' time, then it will be for us, and hopefully can be a good street track race there, and then followed by Canada and USA, of course. Um, which USA Grand Prix is that? Presume it's COTA, or is it Miami or Las Vegas?
What? What? Wait, what? I think Kota
The
is
the one after
USA.
Canada.
The one in Canada is Kota.
USA,
It's
COTA. Cool,
USA.
cool. Sound as a pound. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. That'd be lovely. I'm sure ERL would appreciate that. And I've been F1ology, and joined by Ironkid as co-coms. And until the next time, have a great day.
See you guys.